Good morning friends, welcome back to WBCS for all. I am your friend, philosopher and guide MD Varshit Khan. Today I am going to present a video on how to prepare for WBCS, and today I am going to detail you the evolution of banking sector in India. Means I have already covered the detail of banking sector and how the banking sector has been evolved in India. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Now this is the circular flow of income. What is circular flow of income? See my first video in GDP GNP. I have detailed it, but still I am listing you. Suppose it is a person household, and there is a income by land, labor and capital, which are the factors, and there is a business fame. So financial intermediaries, the main responsibility of financial intermediaries or FIR, they convert the savings of a common man into the investment of a businessman. In this way the economic runs, and it is the main and basic function of you can say the financial intermediaries. So whatever money we are depositing in the bank, they are giving loan to some business firms. In this way economy is multiplying many folds. Okay, now let's move ahead. So how the banking sector evolution. And now earlier I told you that there is a beginning of Imperial Bank of India. Earlier there was Presidency Bank. The first Presidency Bank was opened in Bengal in 1806. The second Presidency Bank was opened in Bombay in 1840, and the third Presidency Bank was opened in Madras in 1842. Remember, there are near about 11 provinces in British India, but from 11 the 3 were called Presidency: Bengal, Bombay and Madras. So they opened Presidency Bank in 1806, 40 and 42, and 1861 the all three got the right to issue currency. Remember, after the you can say revolt of 1857, all India virtually come under the control of British government. So they issued that you can now issue currencies. They don't need to print currency in Britain and import to India. Now you can print currency. Okay, now what will happen in 1921? All the three presidency banks were merged, and they were merged in a single bank. The name is Imperial Bank of India, which will be nationalized in 1955 and known as State Bank of India. What do you mean by nationalization? Nationalization means government taking control of the properties. Means 100% government, more than 50% government stakeholder. At the time of nationalization it will be 100%. Nationalization means government is taking control from private holders or any other holders. Okay, now these are the beginning of Ferengi Banks, or you can say Ferengi Banks, or you can say British banks in India or European banks in India. Remember, all the video which I am presenting you is taken from murnal.org. Now let's move ahead. Now come to the beginning of history of Indian Bank. Also in 1707 there was a Bank of Hindustan opened, but it didn't you can say didn't work very well. And after this there was Awadh Commercial Bank also, which also didn't perform very well. So now the Indian Bank, which were started by Indian and still working, is 1865 Allahabad Bank, which has already completed 150 years, and 1908 Bank of Baroda by Gaikwad III of Gujarat. Okay, now we will come to the banks of a particular region. Remember, here is the region and here is the name of the bank. Now it is the UCO Bank, United Commercial Bank, which were established in 1943 and is still working, and the headquarters is in Bengal region, especially in Kolkata. After that, United Bank of India established in 1950. Again the headquarters is in Bengal. And Allahabad Bank, the name is Allahabad Bank, but the headquarters is West Bengal, Kolkata. Now these three banks performed very well in Kolkata and even in Bengal at that time. That is why their headquarters is situated in West Bengal. So these were the banks of Bengal region. Now moving ahead, now come to the bank of you can say Punjab region. Punjab, there was Punjab National Bank, which was established in 1844. Okay, then Punjab Sindh Bank established in 1808, and OBC, Oriental Bank of Commerce, established in 1943. You will see that their headquarters is situated in the Punjab region. Now come to the Karnataka Mangalore region. Now there is a Corporation Bank in 1906, Canara Bank in 1910, Syndicate Bank in 1928, Vijaya Bank in 21. If you are preparing for a bank in any of the examination, remember the name of the CMD, or if the managing director or chairman has been bifurcated, then remember what is the name of managing director, what is the name of chairman, and what is their headquarters. But if you are not preparing for banking examination, you can skip, and headquarter you will know because it is the bank of that particular region, so the headquarter must be in that region. Now let's moving ahead. Now come to the Bank of Mumbai region. Now the Bank of India 1800 1906, Central Bank of India 1911, Union Bank 1919, Bank of Maharashtra 1935, Dena Bank 1938. Remember, there's a short trick to remember the banks of India. All the banks which started and which end with India, headquarters in Mumbai. For example, Bank of India, Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India, Central Bank of India. Only apart from United Bank of India, all the banks which have headquarters in India, they are in Mumbai. Now come to the Andhra Pradesh Tamil region. Now Andhra Bank established in 1923. In Tamil Nadu there is a Indian Bank established in 1923 and Indian Overseas Bank established in 1937. This were the bank of this particular region. They performed very well in that particular region, and especially now there is a pan-India presence, but you will see the concentration of bank in this region in a very huge manner. Okay, now moving ahead. Okay, now what about the Ferengi Banks? What are their main purpose? Now the Ferengi Banks, or you can say the Videshi Bank or European banks, what were the objectives? They were especially in Bengal, Bombay, Bengal and Madras, and the Presidency Bank, Imperial Bank converted, and actually their customers are British Army, bureaucrats, judges, merchants who were doing high level government jobs. But remember, at that time the private banks were also not for Indian, they were also for Indian, not for all Indians, not for poor Indians. They were established especially for rich Indians. Now for example, Allahabad Bank, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank, they were for their main focus was on the foreign trade and merchants, locals, roughs, money lender, etc. They don't service or cater the poor people. That is why the financial inclusion was very low, despite the bank were opened by Indians. Now by 1930 there were more than 1200 banks, and at that time RBI was not established. Only company law was there to govern bank, but in the Great Depression of 30s, defaults and most of the bank collapsed. That is why in 1934 RBI Act and RBI was established in 1935. I already told in my previous videos. Just move ahead. Now what will happen? Remember, what happened about post-independence? Post-independence, which bank was established? SBI, ICICI, PNB, Bank of Baroda. Their focus were only on merchants and industrial houses. That is why branches increases, yes, but rural penetration was no. So it helped in 5-year achievement, no. So what will happen? Because there was nexus of industrial houses and banks, because there was means they were giving loan to businessmen and not giving loan to private poor. That is why financial exclusion doesn't happen. Now, so what will happen? You will see that it is the basically structure of any company. Now the shareholders, among the shareholders there will be some board of directors or chairman, and among them there will be a CEO and staffs of an, and board of directors will contribute this you can say profit in the form of dividend to the shareholders. Okay, now what will happen then? What will happen then? All the Jawaharlal Nehru and the Pandit Nehru, the first president of India, he did some little bit of you can say financial inclusion. Why? Because the 3 presidential banks which were known as Imperial Bank in 1921 was nationalized in 1955, and now it is known as the State Bank of India. Now in 1955 first, you can say the first public sector bank was opened and the name of SBI. Then but it didn't contributed more. Then the nationalization happened 2 more times. What will happen? Okay, now in 55 Imperial Bank, and in 1916 during the reign of Srimati Indira Gandhi, 14 banks were nationalized. These were the question which usually comes in the prelims and the mains. And which were the 14 banks? All the banks which have the deposit of 50 crores were taken and nationalized. It was the criteria. Then the 14 banks fitted the criteria and they were nationalized. Again in 1980, 6 banks were again nationalized. And who were the 6 banks? The banks with 200 crore deposit: Andhra Bank, Vijaya Bank, Oriental Bank. These were the banks which were nationalized in 1960. But financial, apart from this, there were a little bit thing. Financial inclusion. We all know that regional rural bank and you can say a cooperative bank in NABARD all were established to increase financial inclusion to the poor people. Okay, these were the some steps of government to bring financial inclusion, especially for the poor persons. Okay. Now, in 1969, may have the revise or the list of which were the banks which were nationalized in 1969. Central Bank of India, Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank, UCO Bank, Canara Bank, Dena Bank, United Bank, Syndicate Bank, Allahabad Bank, Indian Overseas Bank and Union Bank. These were the banks at that time which have the deposit of 50 crores. And in 1980, when the deposit was 200 crore, you can say the deposit was increasing. So that's why the banks were decreasing in the numbers. Andhra Bank, Corporation Bank, New Bank of India. Now this bank doesn't exist right now. Earlier there was Vijaya Bank, Oriental Bank of Commerce and Punjab and Sindh Bank. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Now what is the current status of public sector bank? Now public sector bank is public sector banks are 22, and 21 plus 1 SBI plus 5 associate, now there are 27 public sector. Somewhere it is written 22, somewhere 27, and in the RBI website also and PJ Nayak it is given as 27. But remember, after the inclusion of Bharti Mahila Bank, it should be 28. But remember, if you are preparing for a bank examination, remember the logo. It is the logo and tag, that is the relationship beyond banking, is logo means you can say the tag of Bank of India. So you remember that thing, it will help you in the bank's examination. Now what is the problem? What is the problem with bank? Problem is that after nationalization, before nationalization and after nationalization, what are the problem? There was administered interest rate, means the interest rate is determined by government, not by the bank. All the bank is a professional body, but interest rate is determined by government. So what will happen? Bank will incur losses. After that, political interference, that is loan mela, NPA, you can say civil courts. Because what will happen? Some politician will come and tell that these are the peoples of my village, you have to give loan to them. So if you are giving loan to them, what will happen? It will not generate yield or profit. Now the NPA will increase, and then they will move to civil court and litigation will happen. Now there were trade union VRS, obviously. Now what will happen? At that time there was a high reserve requirement. At that time CRR was 15% and SLR was 40%, and again PSL was 40%. So you can see the condition of the bank. So hard to get hands for business. That is why BOP crisis happened. So it was the pre-LPG. High cost of credit to loans, business expansion is very low, job creation is very low, taxation is very poor, government borrowing, fiscal deficit increasing, exports down, current account deficit increasing. You can say if the CLR is 40% and SLR is 40% and if 15%, then the overall 55% you can't, you can say, lend. The rest of the 45% money, you have to give 40% to poor. Then what is the money left to give businessman? That is why business is not increasing. Now what will happen? Then a Bhagwan will come for banking sector. His name is Narasimha. In 1991, Narasimhan committee was established, okay, by government of India. Who was Narasimhan? Who did you can say some fundamental changes in banking sector? Narasimhan was ex-RBI governor. N. Narasimhan. Even say he told that deregulation of interest rate. Interest rate should be deregulated. Deregulation means government will not regulate. It will left to the private individual. It will left to the bank. It will left to the board of director. And means government will not determine the price. Okay. Apart from that, he told that there should be benchmark prime lending rate, BPLR. But what is BPLR? It is BPLR. Earlier what happened? Earlier, suppose some businessman came and I have very good link with them. I will tell you, sir, I will give you loan at 10%. If some poor will come, I will tell you, sir, I will give you loan at 20%. It happens in you can say before LPG. Now the Narasimhan was of the view that there should be a benchmark prime lending rate. You should decide the benchmark prime lending rate, and the rest of the thing there should be a formula. How? Now the BPLR has been modified and named as base rate, and it was introduced in 2010. What is the formula? Suppose the base rate of SBI is 10%, and the formula should be that the car loan should be base rate plus 0.75%. Now the base rate is 10%, then car loan with 10.75%. Two-wheeler again base rate plus 8.75%. Now the two-wheeler is 18.25%. Again education loan up to 4 lakh, base rate plus 3.5%, that is 13.5%. Again home loan up to 75%, base rate plus 0.15%, that is 10.15%. and a home loan greater than 75 lakhs on base rate plus 0.30%, that it is 10.30%. How to remember this? See, it is very difficult to get you can say loan for poor and very easy to get loan for the rich. For example, see, home loan you are getting only 10.15%, and even if for car loan it is also for the poor to 10.75%, but two-wheeler it is 18, education loan it is 13. So still it is very difficult to get profit for the poor. So why this happens to governments? Why government is not interfering? Because the big businessmen, there is a chances that they will refund the money, so the risk is very less. So that is why they have more chances of returning the money. But in case of poor, there are less chances of returning the money. So that is why the risk is high. So they are charging more interest rate. Now moving ahead. Apart from that, what are the you can say the other recommendation? The PSL, according to Narasimhan, the PSL should be at the nominal interest rate, that is the interest subversion should not be given. Debt recovery tribunal, that is there should be a recovery tribunal in 1993, and accordingly Surface Act was introduced. Surface Act, according to Surface Act, if you will not pay the money, the bank will attach your property and deed auction. Then apart from the liberal branch expansion policy, earlier it was very difficult to open a branch. You have to open 2-3 branches in village, then you will get the permission to open 1 branches in city. But right now the requirement is only 25%. If you will open one branch in, you can say, villages, then you have the permission to open 3 branches in city. Means only 25% rural branch is required. Reduce SLR or CRR to 4 and 25%. It is already happened. There should be non-banking financial regulatory framework. Obviously, in 1992 the SBI share sold, because it showed that there should increase privatization so that the banking will function efficiently. The SBI shareholders, government of India is now near about 60% shareholder of State Bank of India. Earlier it was 100% of State Bank of India. Okay, now the private plus foreign banks, allow private plus foreign banks. In 1993 the first time the private and foreign banks were allowed. Then in 2001 again the private bank and foreign banks were allowed. Again in 2013. What happened in these 3 years I will tell you, don't worry. Now come to the, if the Narsimhan has allowed the private bank, so what will happen? Government will take, okay, ठीक है, I will allow private bank. Now the business license for the first round, that is 1991. I already told you 1992. Now the 10 licenses were given to the bank, but still 6 are working and 4 has been closed. Who are the working banks of the private bank? ICICI, SDFC, UTI. Earlier it was known as UTI, but name has been changed as Axis in 2007. Then IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India. Now in up to 64 it was indirect financial institution. Now it is a bank. Now Indus Bank and DCB Bank. Now who are the 4 banks which were opened but closed now? Global Trust Bank. Now, in 2001 scam happened and it merged into OBC, Orient Bank of Commerce. Bank of Punjab, there was a Bank of Punjab, which was merged into the Centurion Bank, and the Centurion Bank was merged into SDFC, and the Times Bank also merged into SDFC. That is why SDFC is a very big bank, because there is a merger of 2-3 banks happened to SDFC. Apart from that, what are the recommendation of Narsimhan? Narsimhan told that there should be VRS. There are a lot of government employees working in the banking sector, to give VRS, that is voluntary retirement scheme. Give VRS to them so that it will, you can say, reduce the burden of the bank. Legal reforms for loan recovery, I told you, SARFAISI Act. Now the computerization, electronic fund transfer, legal framework, obviously. Payment and Settlement Act, that is retail, that is ECS, NEFT plus wholesale, that is RTGS, and permit new private or foreign banks. Now they will allow permit and foreign banks. Again in the second round, that is the guideline was given in 2001 and the operation was happened in 2003. 2 more banks were given licenses, that is Kotak Bank and Mahindra Bank. Okay, now in 1998, before Narsimhan 2, there were 3 classifications of the financial intermediaries. The first one was bank, okay, and second one was NBI, non-banking financial institution, and third was development financial institution like ICICI, IDBI, IFCI, and etc. But right now after Narsimhan 2, that in 1998, there are only 2 banks. There are only 2 financial institutions. The first one is bank and second one is NBFI, that is non-banking financial institution. Right now there are only 2 institutions, 2 financial intermediaries, that is the bank and NBFI. Now moving ahead, my friends. Okay, now moving ahead. Now new banks. Who are the new banks? You can say in 1945 these were the private banks. 4 have been closed in Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now again after Raghu Rajam become the, you can say, the governor of RBI, 3 committees were established. Now the Urjit Patel committee for monetary policy, Nachiket More committee for financial inclusion, and Bimal Jalan to give licenses to bank. RBI high level advisory committee, Bimal Jalan, he gives Mahila Bank September 13, public sector, but not Bimal Jalan. Bimal Jalan give permission to 2 more banks. What are the 2 more banks? Yeah, these are the 2 banks. In the banks are Bandhan Banks and the IDFC. There is a detail in PPT and moving forward, because it is not of much use, because the bank is going to merge, and it is the information about Bharti Mahila Bank. I am also skipping. If you have interest, you can read. Okay, no issues. Now come to what happened. What is the financial inclusion? I am repeating the term financial inclusion. But what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is giving 4 facilities to public. The first one is banking, credit, investment and insurance. In there should be savings and payment, and through branches, ATMs, check, e-transfer. Credit should be loans at affordable interest rate, investment, mutual funds, pension plans, child investment plans, and insurance, life insurance and non-life insurance, general insurance. If financial inclusion will not happen, then in unforced circumstances, child labor, human trafficking, prostitution, money lender, debt trap like Sarda will come and take all of your money. Ponzi schemes, MLM, Sarda chit fund scheme, etc. That is why financial inclusion is very much necessary. So what will happen for financial inclusion? Remember, this is all about financial inclusion. Okay, now saving, financial inclusion will happen, then saving will turn into investment in Japan, South Korea, USA. Then social harmony, there are a lot of financial inclusion in this country. That is why the name is given. Social harmony, women empowerment, e-payment, cashless. Then subsidies leakage will decrease. Then payments, salary. If e-payment will happen to everything, then 1 lakh crore will be saved. It is a study by McKinley study. Okay, now if why financial inclusion is important, because why Jandhan, even the Jandhan Yojana, which has been launched by Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi on 14th of August 2014. Why Jandhan was launched? Because financial inclusion happened in past also. What are the inclusion? Nationalization, RRB, cooperative banks, BCA, banking correspondence agents. What happened? Suppose I have appointed one agent. What he will do? He will take money. He will go to a village in a particular date. He will take all the deposited money and he will give money to one. It is a staff of bank appointed by bank, and you don't have to go bank. He will come on a particular day at a particular time in that particular village, and he will do all the function of the bank. Now then Swavilambam skill, NPS, Swabhiman, then microfinance institution, but they lend 24%, they charge 24% interest. No frills account, it is also called as zero balance account. 25% rural branch, then Bharti Mahila Bank, Banka and Bank, Bharti Mahila Bank, Bandhan, IDFC. But financial inclusion happened. Let's see. When the government came to power, it has seen that still 49% families have no account. 55% rural Dorit borrow money from money lender at the rate of 34% interest rate. Department of Financial Services on 15th August 2014, they took a target that we have to open account of 7.5 crore in 1 year, but it increased to 10 crore in the year and 11.5 crore opened. But till now the current data is that it is more than 23 crores banks have been accounts have been opened. 6 pillar strategy. What were the 6 pillars? Now the first pillar was sub services area to cover 100 to 1500 families within 5 kilometer distance. Means within 5 kilometer distance there should be a particular point which will cover 1000 to 1500 families, or either within kilometer 5 kilometer. It doesn't mean that if a area means it is a rural, means it is a city area and the population is 5000, so we will have to 5 banks. No, within 5 kilometer radius or either for 1000 or 1500 families there should be some point. Each family one account, obviously 1 rupee debit card and 1 lakh accident cover. 5000 overdraft if good credit history. What is overdraft? Suppose I have depositing and withdrawing money and it has happened in a regular manner. It is I have a good overdraft facility, and now right now if there is 30,000 in my account but I need 35,000, then bank will give 35,000. That is 5,000 overdraft. Means without having the money in the account you can take this money. It is called as overdraft. Okay, financial literacy camp will happen. It is the first 3 pillars. Then next 3 pillars, there should be a credit guarantee fund to cover losses, because losses will happen, and we will sell micro insurance product to this account. Then direct benefit transfer, DBT. Okay, now what are the other things which happened? Now rupee debit card, who will use 6 pillar rupee debit card, accident insurance, overdraft facility, banking service in 5 kilometer account for every family, financial literacy, micro insurance. Insurance cover only if, but there are some criticism also, because insurance cover only if rupee card used for 45 days, because National Payment Corporation Limited have been issued rupee card, and it is of the view that if we will not issue rupee card, then we will not able to pay the insurance premium. Then the BCA model, there are 2% commission. Okay, and it is misconduct by RBI. According to RBI report, 74% BCA are traceable, means they are working as a bank staff. They took the money and they fly away. Okay, Hawala via smurfing, sending money overseas in small needs. Hawala is also happening because of Jandhan account. Now what is Hawala? Hawala I will tell you later. Now come to the rupee card. Rupee card has been issued by National Payment Corporation of India. It has also done the check truncation system and Aadhaar event payment system. Okay, this is the little bit of information about rupee card. Now let's have some more information about rupee card. What happened? Listen, this is the merchant, it is the bank, and it is the payment gateway, which is Rupee, Visa. They facilitate the, you can say, they facilitate the merchants as well as the seller and the customer. Means they took money from our account, they give it to bank, and the bank, through bank, they transfer money to the merchant's account. So there are 3% involved. The first one is the purchaser, second one is the seller, and third one is the bank. And the Visa or the payment gateway facilitates them. The Rupee card is also one of the payment gateway, like Mastercard, Visa card, Channel Union Pay. Rupee is the seventh payment gateway in the world. Three channels: ATM, means through ATM you can use; point of sale, that is the swipe machine; and online. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the little bit history of Rupee card. Now let's moving ahead. Now what is the history of small bank and payment bank? Now remember, Nachiket more, the recommendation you can read, right, it right now, it is not very much important. Okay, and listen, why LIC? The 1 lakh accident insurance, it is done through LIC. So Rupee told, if you will not issue my card, how I will pay you premium? So it is a mandate that you have to use Rupee card within 45 days. Every 45 days you have to use it once. And 30,000, you can say, life insurance, government pays premium. Okay, so for a 1 lakh accident insurance, the, you can say, the Rupee will pay premium, and the 30,000, that is government will pay. Now what is the small bank and payment bank? The minimum capital required is 100 crore. Okay, now regular bank license 500 crore, but for small and payment bank, the you will need by 100 crore. FDI limits voting rights similar to regular commercial bank like SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda, ICCI. Now deadline to apply 16 January 2014, but now 2nd February, external business is in a large industrial and business house. So what is the difference between a small bank and payment bank? Small bank and payment bank are very important. Now first we will discuss about a small bank. A small bank will deposit loan, and it will for a small area. Small farmers, MSME are organized. Microfinance institution or non-banking finance institution can convert them into a small bank. Now what will happen? Even individual with 10 years of experience in banking and cooperatives can open this branch. 25% rural branching, 50% loan to MSME. Now this small bank will, you can say, it will be not on the large basis, it will be on the small basis, and will understand the need of MSME sector. So he will understand, it will understand what are the requirements, and it is not a very big account. So it is a small bank, and it will perform very well. Okay, on the, you can say, small level, micro level. Now what are the criticism? Small banks, deadline extended 21st for PSL norm 40%, that we have to comply in 3 years. First take license, then 3 years within, comply within 3 years. Okay, the cooperative banks can't apply, NRI can, and cooperative banks can't apply, but NRI can apply. The cluster preference, suppose if anyone is started, yes sir, I will start my bank in Northeast, he will given more preference, because in the Northeast the banking penetration is very low. Can't set up subsidiaries. So suppose you open a company, if it will generate good name, you want to open few more companies on that name, it will not happen. Can appoint BCA, but can't become BCA of other bank. Okay, now what is payment bank? What payment bank? Only CASA, means current account and savings account, net banking and prepaid cards, but neither they can take fixed deposit, or no can, means they can't take fixed deposit, and they can't take loan. So by way, from where they will generate profit? They will can invest their money in government securities. Now Paytm is a payment bank. Remember, payment remittances for poor merchants, unorganized sector, maximum balance 1 lakh per customer. Okay, that is why. Now what are the small banks and payments bank? In a nutshell, you can say, minimum capital require 100 crore, regular bank it is 500 crore. FDI limits voting that similar to bank, commercial banks. Okay, now deadline to apply 16 January to 2nd February, actually it was earlier 15 February, right now to 2nd January. External commercial, excluding large industrial and business bank. Remember, Paytm is a payment bank, so it is paymenting thing, so you can't deposit more than 1 lakh in your Paytm account. Okay, and Paytm can't give you loan, Paytm can't take fixed deposit, but Paytm is generating profit, because it will, in, you can say, deposit their money, or your money even, you can say, in government security. Now what is Kisan Vikas Patra? It is very important, because my father in Bachpan, when I was childhood, my father told that I have deposited some money in Kisan Vikas. I don't know, my father is not a farmer, so how he can deposit money in Kisan Vikas? Now we can understand. Kisan Vikas Patra is nothing, you can say, I will give the detail. The director of a small savings via post office, okay, it will say that we will invest the money in farmer welfare schemes and we will double money in 8 years. Earlier it was doubled in 8 years, but in 2012 Syamal Gopinath committee told that KVP used for money laundering, it was banned, but in budget 2014 it was announced and November 14 it was reintroduced. So Kisan Vikas Patra is nothing, it will be certificate, it will be written at 100,000 rupees. It means it is the Kisan Vikas Patra of 1000 rupees and the date will be given. If you will take the Kisan Vikas Patra in 1000 rupees from post office, and if you will deposit, if you will withdraw it within 1 year, then the interest rate will be late. In 2 years, interest rate will be high. 3 years, so the maximum, the more time you will invest in Kisan Vikas Patra, the more percent of profit you will get. Now, according to the current deadline, now there is a denomination of 1000 to 50,000. okay, it doubles your money at 100 months, means 8 years and 4 months. ID proof, address proof are needed so that money laundering can't happen. For purchase, transfer and PAN card if 15,000 or more. Source of income, if 10 lakhs or more, you have to give source of income. Okay, now this was the circular flow of income. Now in the financial intermediary, there is a classification what is bank and what is non-banking financial intermediary. Now in the bank there are two types of bank, commercial and cooperative. In commercial bank, PSL rule applies, MSF given. Non-banking financial comes in no PSL, no PSL. Then what are the non-banking financial institutions? Now first, what is the difference between commercial bank and cooperative bank? CRR, SLR in commercial, yes. Cooperative, yes. Commercial bank, PSL, yes. Cooperative, no. But right now you can say that there are more than 75%, even there are 75% PSL in cooperative bank. Commercial bank का motive, what is the motive of commercial bank? Profit motive. What is the motive of cooperative bank? No profit, no loss. Just maintain your status quo. Commercial bank voting power as per shareholding, but in cooperative bank, one person, one voting. Remember in WBCS there is the you can say there is a one post in group B, that is the additional registrar, ARCS, that is the additional registrar of cooperative society, that is group A, and in group D there is a cooperative society inspector. Remember, so it will help you in interview also. Now this way, now the commercial bank happen, public, private, foreign, RRB. Now come to non-banking financial institution. Now commercial bank we have already happened with private, public, foreign. Now come to the commercial bank. Now come to the regional rural bank. Okay, now the regional rural bank, which is also part of commercial bank, it was established on the recommendation of Narasimhan uncle told that there should be hybrid of commercial bank and cooperative bank. Means commercial bank is generating profit and cooperative bank is doing welfare without going into the losses. So Narasimhan told that we must have a hybrid bank. Now what is the hybrid? The sponsor bank. Suppose Punjab National Bank is sponsoring, it will give training so that efficiency will happen in regional rural bank, because the staffs and the trainings has been, even the training has given by one of the commercial bank. All India, no, it will not have in all India presence, but in few districts. Ownership, union government 50% share, state government 15% share, and sponsor bank 35% share. So you can see the government will try to give loans to poor and the bank will try to give loans to rich family where they will the feasible. So in this way there is a, you can say there is a hybrid of commercial bank and cooperative bank, and it is known as regional rural bank. Okay. Now we have a classical example of regional rural bank, Uttar Bihar Gramin Bank. It is a RRB, and central bank is the sponsor bank. Rupee is the payment gateway. It is the structure. Sponsor bank 35%, 50%. You can say 50% of union government, 50% of state government. Okay, it was established by 1976 by RRB Act. Problem: urbanization. Private bank, scheduled commercial bank deposits are very low in RRB, so they are basically dependent on NABARD for you can say money. And debt waiver happen, that is the Kisan ka loan maafi. So NPA solution is amalgamation. Now they have been allowed to raise more capital, flexibility in shareholding. Now there is RRB amendment bill in 2014, it has been passed. Okay. Now in a nutshell, in the banking institution has been classified into sector: commercial and cooperative, public, private, foreign. Okay, and RRB and cooperative, urban, either it will be urban or rural. But in the rural also, the cooperative bank can be divided into three parts. Remember, the cooperative banks has been divided into three parts. That is the rural level, means it is the village level, that is primary agriculture cooperative society. Then at the district level, that at the state level. Okay, so what will be, happen if you will not meet the PSL target, as he has already stated? If the Indian bank having or the foreign bank having more than 20 branches, if they will not meet the PSL target, the money will go to RIDF. A rural infrastructure development fund, it is managed by NABARD. NABARD pays interest to the bank, and state government get infrastructure loan from RIDF. And if the foreign bank having less than 20 branch will not meet the PSL target, then it will go to ACDF, Small Enterprises Development Fund. SIDBI manages, same by SIDBI. Similar case, State Financial Corporation will get the money. Okay. Now, what is cooperative bank? Remember, it is very important. Now, what is an state means if you want to open any cooperative society or cooperative bank, state registrar, you establish a cooperative society. Okay, in 1966 Banking Regulation Act, you have the permission. Now, they should be established on a no profit, no loss basis. One member, one vote. All India, no, but only in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra. Even you can say Amul is a cooperative bank. In Bankura, there is a Kangshavati is a cooperative. In Kerala, even in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, cooperative banks are performing very well. So they have to maintain SLR or CRR, yes, but PSL no, only civil commercial bank, but they are giving 75%, you can say PSL right now. Problem politicization scandals. What are the scandals? Madhupoda, Ketan Parekh, Krishnagar, Kolhapur, NP, etc. Okay. Now, what is Basel 3? In a nutshell, I am trying to make you understand what will happen in Basel 3. Basel 3 is nothing but the banking sector needs that all the public sector banks need by 31st March 2019. They need 1.8 lakh crore, but government is ready to give 17,000 crore, and they have to take money, they have to deposit capital, they have to generate capital of 1 lakh, means 110 lakh crore from anywhere to meet the Basel 3 norms. This is the crux of Basel 3. Remember. Now, before Narsimhan, what will happen? Before Narsimhan, there was 3 institutions, banks, NBFI and development institution. But after Narsimhan, there are only 2 means division, banks and NBFI. Within bank, there are commercial and cooperative, and within NBFI, there are 3 institutions. First one is All India Financial Institution. Second one is primary dealers, and third one is non-banking financial company. So what are this? I will tell you in details, okay, in the upcoming slides. Now, what is called NPA? It is very important and it is coming in the examination, but most of the people are, suppose bank has given a loan on your home or any property, then it is called a standard asset, because you are depositing interest as well as you are depositing principal. Someone is depositing interest, someone is depositing principal plus interest, whatever. So it is good that you are depositing interest, then it is called a standard asset. Okay, now what will happen? There is early detection of stress, special mention accounts. Now without going NPA, even suppose you have not given interest for 1 month. Now the bank will understand there is some problem, okay, why he has not given. But maybe you have not given because at that month you don't have money, or you have spent more, or you didn't get the time, or you didn't remember it. There may be some unforeseen circumstances because you didn't deposit money. But if you will not deposit your money for more than 19 days, that is principal interest, then it will be started to qualify the NPA. Now the problem of NPA started. Now there is a line between NPA and standard asset, that within this period, if you will start you can say looking at the problem, then it will be easy that the NPA will be less. Now suppose NPA happened, you have not given interest for 3 months, what will happen? Or if you are taken agriculture loan, if the agriculture crop season has been lapsed and you have not deposited, then it will come to NPA. Okay. Now, what is substandard asset? If the NPA have starting of NPA happened for more than 1 month, then it is substandard, because you don't care about the property. Go and attach my property, I don't need it. Okay. Now, if for more than 1 month it happen, that it will be called a doubt, and loss will start happening for bank. When bank RBI auditor says little or no savings, then it will be lost. So it are the classification of standard asset, NPA, substandard, doubtful and loss. So RBI have given the 3R formula, that is rectification, restructuring and recovery. Rectification means no change in tenure, interest rate will be no change in tenure, and interest rate will be reduced, or you will manage anything. Restructuring means easy tenure, interest rate will be less. Suppose you have to give it for in 10 installment, it will tell you that give in 20 installments. Don't worry, don't give in 10 years, give in 20 years. Then recovery, if you will not give the property, then they will recover the thing via auction, that is through SARFAESI Act. Okay, friends, this is all about the evolution of banking sector. Do share and promote the video. Give your opinion in the comment box. Thank you very much.